The alien fleet appeared suddenly over Earth's orbit, a black swarm of warships glinting in the distant sun, their edges sharper than anything humanity had ever imagined. Thousands of vessels, each bristling with weaponry that could obliterate continents in moments, moved in perfect formation. On board the flagship Vorinth, Commander HFYXX's multifaceted eyes scanned the tiny blue planet below with contempt. "Pathetic," he hissed, his voice a sharp symphony of clicks and tones. "These humans, primitive, fragile, barely sentient, think they can resist us." His six-segmented limbs tapped impatiently against the metallic deck as he observed the minimal planetary defenses. To him, resistance was meaningless. Victory was certain. On the surface, humanity's finest minds had already gathered in secret. The United Earth Defense Council had convened their best strategists, military officers, and scientists. Among them was a young woman, unassuming in appearance, seated at a console full of data streams and holographic readouts. Her calm expression betrayed nothing of the storm that was building inside her mind. To the aliens, she was just a translator, an intermediary without influence. Yet she wasn't translating orders, she was planning countermeasures. Every alien movement, every pattern of attack, every psychological assumption about human behavior had been studied meticulously. She had mapped out trajectories, predicted weaknesses, and calculated the risks of counteroffensives that even the most advanced alien minds would consider improbable. The first shot struck like a cosmic thunderclap. Alien plasma cannons tore through orbital defenses, disintegrating satellites and missile platforms in a blinding display of technological supremacy. Humanity's response seemed negligible at first glance, a series of calculated retreats, evasive maneuvers, and strategic withdrawals. The aliens watched, satisfied with the apparent futility of human resistance. "They will fall," HFYXX declared confidently. "All of them." But the humans weren't falling. They were baiting, drawing the alien fleet into zones where maneuverability was limited, feeding on overconfidence and arrogance. Each minor setback was a carefully orchestrated step toward a far more significant advantage. Inside the command hub, the woman's fingers hovered over a sleek control panel. Her eyes scanned the alien fleet's schematics, identifying blind spots, structural weaknesses, and critical command points. The aliens didn't notice her. They had never considered her relevant. And that was their first mistake. "Ready," she whispered. Her voice was calm, almost casual. Yet it carried authority that no alien had anticipated. She wasn't just transmitting data. She was directing strategy, orchestrating human movements, and preparing to turn the tide. The aliens assumed humans operated on instinct, that they would panic or crumble under pressure. They didn't understand discipline born from centuries of survival, resourcefulness honed under pressure, or the subtle genius of minds that solved problems that logic alone couldn't explain. Seconds stretched like hours. The humans executed minor victories, avoiding annihilation with daring maneuvers and clever traps. Each success was a ripple in the alien ranks, creating confusion and hesitation. For HFYXX and his command crew, this was unexpected. A tiny species displaying coordination and intelligence beyond their expectations. Finally, with the alien fleet momentarily stalled, the woman pressed a single sequence into the console. A single phrase escaped her lips, precise and unwavering. It wasn't just a command. It was a signal of human ingenuity at its most lethal. "Engage the kill protocol," she said. A silence fell across the alien command bridge. Multifaceted eyes widened in disbelief. The aliens had assumed she was powerless, irrelevant, incapable of shaping the battle. In a single moment, all their arrogance crumbled. The humans had seized control of the battlefield without them even realizing it, exploiting assumptions and underestimations with precision. HFYXX's limbs twitched, a mixture of anger and shock. "Impossible," he growled. "How?" But the humans didn't wait for him to understand. Every strategy, every calculation, every hidden advantage came to fruition. The battle had just begun, and yet the tide had already shifted in humanity's favor. In the small control hub, the woman's expression remained calm, almost serene. She knew the aliens had misjudged humanity, a fatal error that would echo across the stars. For the first time, the universe was beginning to see what Earth had always known. Humans were not just survivors. Humans were the strategists, the adaptable, the unpredictable. Humans were, in every sense, unstoppable when underestimated. And the galaxy was about to learn that lesson the hard way. Earth had always been underestimated. From the galactic perspective, the blue planet seemed insignificant, small, fragile, and technologically primitive compared to the ancient civilizations scattered across the stars. Yet beneath the oceans, mountains, and cities lay a population whose resilience had been forged through millennia of survival. Inside a reinforced command center buried beneath the Rocky Mountains, humanity's finest minds were gathering. Holographic displays flickered with incoming data from satellites and deep space monitoring arrays. Missile trajectories, alien fleet patterns, and predicted attack points were mapped in vivid, color-coded detail. Dr. Elias Varden, a veteran strategist with more than 3 decades in military intelligence, leaned over a holographic map of the solar system. His gray-streaked hair and sharp eyes gave him a presence that commanded respect. "They think they are here to intimidate," he muttered, "but intimidation doesn't work on humans who've survived extinction-level events before breakfast." Next to him, Captain Lena Arkoff adjusted the display, highlighting weak points in the alien fleet. Her posture was calm but alert, and her dark eyes flickered with determination. "Their plasma cannons are optimized for range," she noted. "If we can force them into the asteroid belt corridor, their formation will crumble. Minimal human casualties, maximum disruption." "Minimal," grunted Major Thomas Reed, a battle-hardened tactician who had seen wars humans would rather forget. "We're facing a fleet capable of erasing our cities from orbit. Minimal isn't in our vocabulary right now." Dr. Varden smiled faintly. "That's why we're here, Thomas. Humans don't rely on luck. We rely on strategy and adaptability. Those are things no alien algorithm can fully predict." At the center of the command hub, the Translator, known to the Council simply as Mara, continued her silent work. Unlike the other humans, she didn't carry herself with military authority or ostentatious confidence. Her value lay in her mind, sharp and analytical. Every movement, every calculation, every potential alien response was considered and preempted. The aliens outside the solar system remained arrogant, their senses misreading human hesitation as fear. THRYXX had declared Earth insignificant, a stepping stone for galactic conquest. Yet the humans had anticipated every major attack pattern, every psychological trap the aliens could set. Mara had studied THRYXX's communication style, his tendency to overestimate technological superiority, and his underestimation of human adaptability. "Commander," Lena said, turning toward Mara, "we need to synchronize the orbital defenses with the planetary response units. Can you coordinate?" Mara nodded, her voice calm and precise. "Already done. I've rerouted the automated defense grids to react dynamically. We'll intercept plasma strikes before they breach the atmosphere." "Excellent," Dr. Varden said. "Remember, they see us as weak. That's our advantage. Let them underestimate us. Every assumption they make against humanity will be their undoing." Meanwhile, THRYXX convened his officers aboard the Vorinth. They moved with precision, analyzing human orbital movements, planetary energy readings, and tactical reports from scouts. Yet for all their advanced technology, one thing remained invisible: human ingenuity. "Humans are unpredictable," one of THRYXX's lieutenants complained, his multi-lensed eyes narrowing. "They retreat when they should fight. They counter when they should surrender. Their logic, it is flawed." THRYXX's mandibles clicked in irritation. "Flawed?" he repeated. It is not flawed. It is irrelevant. We are superior. Their weakness will be exposed in the next engagement. We need only wait. But the humans were already moving. Tactical pods, automated drones, and satellite-deployed interceptors maneuvered silently. Human ingenuity turned the planet itself into a weaponized chessboard. Every asteroid, gravitational anomaly, and orbital station was leveraged to disrupt alien formation. Back in the command hub, Mara continued to monitor communications. Alien patterns were predictable, but not perfectly. One slight miscalculation, one underestimated maneuver, and the human counterattack could turn the tide. She smiled faintly. The aliens' arrogance was their greatest vulnerability. Dr. Varden, Lena said, glancing at the maps, if we force their fleet into the asteroid belt, we can isolate their smaller units and neutralize them individually. Then we consolidate planetary defenses and gain control of their attack vectors. Yes, Mara confirmed. But timing is critical. A delay of even 30 seconds could be catastrophic. 30 seconds. Reed scoffed. That's nothing in space warfare. It's everything, Mara replied calmly. Because humans measure time differently. Every second is an opportunity to outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast the opponent. And the aliens, they do not understand us yet. Outside, the alien fleet maintained its imposing formation, unaware that the humans were not just surviving, they were preparing a counteroffensive that would force THOAXX to reconsider everything he thought he knew about humanity. And in that underground hub, with screens casting a cold glow across their determined faces, humans were readying themselves for a battle that no alien arrogance could predict. Every movement, every decision, every calculation was precise, deliberate, and lethal, not because the humans were stronger, but because they were smarter, faster, and unbreakable in spirit. The stage was set. The aliens believed they were the hunters, and humans the prey. But in reality, the first move had already been made. And it was a move the galaxy would remember. The alien fleet adjusted its formation as it pushed deeper into Earth's orbital space. To Commander THOAXX, the continued resistance from humanity was irritating but not alarming. His species had crushed far older civilizations with less effort. The human survival so far, he believed, was nothing more than chaos mistaken for competence. On Ith, the human command center told a very different story. Mara's eyes moved rapidly between holographic displays, each one filled with shifting trajectories, energy readings, and probability curves. Every movement of the alien fleet confirmed what she had predicted hours earlier. Their technology was superior, yes, but their thinking was rigid. They relied on dominance, not adaptation. Plasma volleys incoming, Captain Lena Arkoff said calmly. Same pattern as before. Of course it is, Dr. Elias Varden replied. They believe repetition reinforces intimidation. Mara's fingers danced across the console. Deploy intercept drones, Phase 3. Adjust timing by 0.8 seconds. The response was immediate. Hundreds of small, fast-moving drones launched from hidden orbital platforms, weaving between incoming plasma blasts with impossible precision. Explosions lit up space, but none reached Earth's atmosphere. From the alien perspective, it looked like luck. From the human perspective, it was mathematics. On the bridge of the alien flagship, confusion spread. Commander, an officer reported, his voice tight, their defenses are adapting faster than projected. Our accuracy is declining. THOAXX's mandibles clicked sharply. Increase output. Overwhelm them. But overwhelming force was exactly what the humans wanted. As the alien ships increased power to their weapons, their energy signatures spiked, briefly exposing vulnerabilities in their shield harmonics. Mara noticed instantly. There, she said quietly. They are overloading. Reroute asteroid tethers now. Far beyond Earth, massive rocks that had once been mined and abandoned shifted almost imperceptibly. Human-built gravity anchors nudged them just enough to alter their paths. To the alien fleet, the change was invisible until it was too late. The first alien cruiser clipped an asteroid. Its shields fled, failed, and the ship spun out of formation. Another followed. Then another. The once perfect alien formation began to fracture. That wasn't an accident, Major Thomas Reed muttered. No, Varden said, a thin smile crossing his face. That was patience. The aliens tried to correct, but their response time lagged behind human improvisation. Each correction exposed another weakness. Human drones slipped through the gaps, targeting navigation systems instead of hulls. Ships drifted. Commands overlapped. Confusion spread. On the alien bridge, THOYXX slammed a limb against the deck. Why are they not breaking? Because humans did not break easily. Inside the command center, a moral dilemma surfaced. One option would end the battle faster, targeting the alien power cores directly. But the resulting explosions could scatter debris toward orbital colonies. We can end this now, Reed said. But civilians will be at risk. Mara shook her head. Then we don't end it that way. She recalculated in seconds, rewriting the engagement plan on the fly. We disable, not destroy. Let their ships live, but useless. Captain Arkoff exhaled slowly. That will take longer. Yes, Mara said. But humanity survives by choosing the harder path. The new plan unfolded with surgical precision. Human systems flooded alien networks with false telemetry. Coordinates shifted. Orders contradicted each other. The alien fleet began fighting itself, not with weapons, but with misaligned intent. To THOYXX, it felt like the universe had turned hostile. His technology was flawless. His strategy should have worked. And yet, everything was slipping away. They are predicting us, one officer said, fear finally breaking through his composure. No, THOYXX growled. They are reacting. But even as he said it, he knew it wasn't true. Back on Earth, the humans secured another small victory. A disabled alien command ship drifted harmlessly into a containment zone, its weapons silent. Cheers did not erupt. There was no celebration. Only focus. This is working, Arkoff said. Mara nodded. Because they still don't understand us. Outside, the battle continued, quietly, intelligently, and relentlessly. Humans were not overpowering their enemy. They were outthinking them, one calculated decision at a time. And with every passing minute, the aliens' greatest weakness became clearer. They had mistaken intelligence for technology and patience for fear. That mistake was costing them everything. The alien fleet, battered but unbroken, loomed over the inner planets, its shadow casting a chilling darkness over Earth's orbit. Commander THOYXX's frustration had grown into something darker, panic masked by arrogance. Every engagement had been anticipated, every maneuver counted, yet his pride refused to accept that humans were anything more than primitive survivors. Report, THOYXX demanded, his segmented limbs quivering with restrained fury. One officer hesitated. Commander, our shields are weakened. Column 2 has lost 43% of its vessels. They continue to evade and counter, unpredictably. Unpredictable. THOYXX roared. No species should survive this long against us. On Earth, the human command hub was quiet, precise, and focused. Dr. Elias Varden leaned over the holographic projection of the alien fleet. They are overextended. Every column is vulnerable. This is our opportunity, he said calmly, eyes scanning for the perfect strike. Captain Lena Arkoff added, their energy shields are focused forward. Their flanks are exposed. If we can create a synchronized multi-vector assault, we can neutralize the command ships without unnecessary losses. Mara's fingers flew across her console. I've aligned orbital drones, asteroid grids, and automated defense satellites. All vectors converge on the alien flagship. Timing will be critical. One misstep, and this operation fails. Dr. Varden nodded. Then we will not fail. The ingenious human strike. Humans had transformed the battlefield into a multidimensional chessboard. Drones moved like swarms of coordinated predators, projecting holographic decoys while actual units maneuvered to strike at weak points. Automated systems adjusted trajectories in real time, using predictive algorithms based not only on alien technology, but on alien psychology. From orbit, the aliens were unaware that their own assumptions had become their prison. Every formation break they executed had been anticipated. Every evasive maneuver was a trap. And at the center of it all was Mara, the unassuming translator who had become the mastermind of humanity's resistance. "Initiate," she commanded. The first wave of drones slammed into the flanks of the alien fleet. Shields flared and buckled under concentrated strikes that targeted power nodes and navigation systems. Column 1 faltered, collision alerts flashing across alien consoles. The Vorant shook as its energy shields diverted power to compensate. THRYXX bellowed, "Impossible. They cannot." The human strike continued. From the asteroid belt to orbital defense grids, every piece of the puzzle moved with precision. Alien vessels attempted to regroup, but their superior technology now worked against them. Predictable calculations collided with human improvisation, and their formations crumbled. The turning point. Dr. Varden's voice cut through the command hub. "Now." Mara spoke into the communication channel, her voice steady. "Execute kill protocol." A sequence of commands spread like wildfire through the automated systems. Satellites emitted disruptive pulses that disabled alien shields. Gravitational traps pulled enemy ships off course. Holographic decoys drew fire away from the humans' critical vectors. The aliens, for the first time, were not in control. THRYXX's officers scrambled, trying to coordinate a defense against attacks they had never considered possible. "Commander, systems failing. We are losing cohesion." "Yes," THRYXX admitted, his mandibles clattering in disbelief. "We miscalculated. The humans, they are intelligent." By the time the flagship attempted a retreat, its flanks were severed, its command systems crippled. The humans had anticipated the escape route. Automated interception grids closed in, forcing the alien vessel into a narrow asteroid corridor, a final trap. Shock, awe, and human ingenuity. The flagship collided with the debris field, shields unable to compensate. Explosions rippled across its hull. Alien screams echoed through comms, incomprehensible yet filled with terror. THRYXX stared at the monitors, realizing too late that his arrogance had led to near total annihilation of his fleet. Dr. Varden allowed himself a small smile. The humans have turned assumptions into vulnerabilities. Every underestimated detail was exploited. Captain Arkoff added, and every risk was calculated. "We didn't win through luck. We won through intellect and adaptation." Mara remained calm, her eyes scanning the fleet. "The battle is not over," she said, "but the outcome is clear. They underestimated us, and that was their downfall." Across the command hub, humans exchanged brief glances, a mixture of exhaustion and triumph. Not a single human life had been unnecessarily sacrificed. Every move had been strategic, precise, and ethical. Even as the smoke of destroyed alien vessels drifted through orbit, the galaxy began to understand the truth. Humans were unpredictable, ingenious, and unyielding. To underestimate them was to invite disaster. The ultimate lesson. THRYXX, battered and humiliated, transmitted one final message before retreating. "We misjudged your species. We will return." Dr. Varden replied, voice calm and firm, "And we will be ready. Humanity does not rely on luck. We rely on intellect, resilience, and strategy. Underestimate us at your own peril." Mara closed her console, the faintest smile crossing her face. For years, she had been dismissed as just a translator. Now, she had commanded a human fleet to victory against a superior alien force, not with brute strength, but with intelligence, creativity, and unshakable confidence. The humans had proven, once again, that survival was not enough. Dominance was not achieved by firepower alone, it was achieved by minds that refused to be underestimated. And somewhere in the stars, alien commanders would remember the name of the human strategist who had spoken the kill command. The alien fleet's retreat left behind a shattered orbit, burning wreckage drifting silently like a graveyard of arrogance. Earth's defensive grid powered down in careful stages, human commanders refusing celebration until every variable was secured. Victory, for humans, was never a moment, it was a process. Mara remained at her station, eyes locked on the fading signal of the alien flagship. Her heart rate was steady, her breathing controlled. The kill command had been executed flawlessly, yet she knew something far more dangerous than weapons had been unleashed today. Fear. They are broadcasting, an analyst announced. A fractured transmission pierced the command hub. THRYXX's image appeared again, damaged and dim, his once commanding presence reduced to something raw and exposed. "You fight without honor," he hissed weakly. Dr. Varden stepped forward. "No. We fight without waste." Silence followed. Then THRYXX spoke again, slower now. "You hid your strategist behind the mask of a translator. Why?" Mara leaned toward the channel. "Because you only listen to those you fear," she said calmly. "And you never feared us." The transmission cut. Across human space, the consequences rippled instantly. Alien monitoring posts withdrew. Border skirmishes ceased. Species that had once ignored Earth now requested diplomatic channels, their messages cautious, respectful, afraid. Captain Arkoff exhaled deeply. "They won't attack again. Not soon." "They will," Dr. Varden replied. "But they'll plan differently. Fear forces adaptation." Mara finally stood, her legs trembling now that the battle was over. For the first time, the weight of what she had done pressed against her chest. She had rewritten how humanity was perceived, not as survivors, not as primitives, but as architects of defeat. Later, alone in the observation deck, she watched the stars burn quietly beyond the glass. Humanity had always lived beneath larger shadows, empires, fleets, gods of war. Today, those shadows had learned something new. Humans did not dominate by size. They dominated by thought. A message arrived on Mara's private console, classified, high priority. Designation update approved. It read, "No longer translator. Strategic command authority granted." She closed the file without reacting. Titles had never mattered. What mattered was that the galaxy now understood a simple truth. Humans listen. Humans learn. Humans remember. And when pushed into a corner, when underestimated and dismissed, they do not roll first. They calculate. Somewhere beyond known space, alien councils would debate what had gone wrong. They would analyze weapons, ships, formations. But they would miss the most important lesson of all. The most dangerous weapon humanity possessed had never been its fleets. It was the quiet human who waited until it was time to speak the kill command.